Hey, Recovery family. This is Yana coming to you on this beautiful Wednesday, the 17th. I had to check on that. Today is a good day. Just giving folks a couple minutes to join us, a couple moments rather, hanging out here on my couch with my dogs. Enjoying the weather. I spent a lot of time outside today, and actually at the center at Recovery, we've been doing a lot of weeding and some gardening and cleaning up the jungle of a forest of a garden that we had. There's actually quite a few different herbs and things growing. We have tons of oregano, tons of lavender, sage, thyme, something else. So if you guys are in the neighborhood, stop by and grab some because there's an abundance that came back from last year. And we're doing some planning. We have a lot of cleanup to do between the plow pushing snow and dirt all over the place to sitting until just now. All right, because this year we didn't get a chance to get out there and get our gardening in. So we could use your help if you're in the neighborhood. Stop by. So I see we have some viewers, and on this StreamYard that we use, this new program, I don't see names pop up, so I can't say hello to you because I don't know you're watching. So if you're watching, say hello, drop in, let me know how you're doing today, how your Wednesday's going. I'd love to hear from you. I'm a little tired today. I don't know if you guys can see that in my face. I spent a lot of time in the sun, did yard work at my house, then did cleanup at Recovery, and then a bunch of meetings. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Kendall. It's good to see you, Kendall, today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for saying hello, guys. I'm not great with change, so changing from the regular Facebook Live to go to like a third party. So we have these cool, like, where is it, banners this way? Is tripping me up because there's also a delay. So as I watch myself talk, it's like a minute behind. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. So thanks so much for dropping in, saying hello. Yeah, it was a busy day. I'm a little fried. But it's been a good week. You know, it kind of is flying by, which for many of you, time just sort of blends and flies, and you know, whatever day it is today. But it's been really great to be back at Recovery. We've seen some familiar faces, met some new ones. Kendall is one of them. Some of the folks in the neighborhood. It's been really great. Made some new connections. So it's those baby steps, right? Those little steps on the road to where we eventually want to be, which is open, and the gym's open, and we're doing outdoor programs and all that good stuff. And hopefully the outdoor programs are going to be aligned with phase 4 of the reopening. So we'll start things like hikes and bike rides and Brian Quinn workouts. I'm just waiting to hear from our board to get the final approval, and then once phase 4 hits, we'll be taking it to the streets. So I'm pretty excited. For those of you that have been along this ride with us for some time, you know that sort of our humble beginnings, how we started. So it's bringing it back to basics, and sometimes that is the best part. You know, when things were simpler, when we weren't even a nonprofit, we just went hiking. We didn't have a building. We didn't have filing or reporting or staff. And just to think how far we've grown in such a short amount of time, and the impact we've had has been pretty incredible. So what's happening out there, you guys? What'd you do today? How was it? How are things going? Are you enjoying the summer? Are we in summer? I'm kind of, it's not a bad mood, but I'm just like poopy. I think it's the best way to put it. I didn't like any of the readings today, per se. I know we usually reflect on some things with you, and maybe this is actually the perfect one to read. Yeah, this is probably the perfect one to read. It's funny how things work out that way. I was listening to something. Oh, there's random story. Um, Different versions of the Serenity Prayer. There are two different versions. And for some reason, and I don't even know all the words to it, but last night I'm in and out of sleep. I don't know if it was a dream or if I thought about it as I'm falling asleep. But a few words from one of the versions came to mind, and I don't have my phone around me to tell you, but um, it's tolerance for those with different struggles, appreciation for all that I have, something. Yeah, I don't know it, but it just happened to come to mind last night. And this morning, I was on a Zoom call, and don't you know, someone says the long version of the Serenity Prayer, and I was like, that is so bizarre. I haven't heard the version. I don't know the version. It just popped into my mind. But so it's funny how those things work. Bringing it back to here, I am kind of crabby, and these readings are not up to my standard. Well, this reflection says, learn to report instead of judge. How I didn't see this is beyond me, right? Um, there is a world of difference between reporting and judging. When you report, you merely say what happened. I am going through this. I did this. She did that. I feel this. But when you judge, attitudes and feelings are added on. I'm going through this, therefore I am deficient. I did this, therefore I'm wrong. She did that, therefore there's something wrong with her. I feel this, so I must be bad. That's pretty spot on for me. I'm going through some, I don't know, a couple of tense situations. And I was talking to one of my best friends, and I reported out, and there was judgment around it. Like, I just feel shitty, poopy. You guys know, I just feel crappy. Sometimes I forget who I'm talking to. They just feel so crappy. And she said, maybe it's just what it is. It's not good or bad. It just is, right? This is the situation. It's sort of like the facts of the situation. As what we know about feelings is they're not facts, right? And they pass, the good times and the bad times. So I'm not fundamentally flawed or deficient. I'm just going through some stuff, right? We all are. It's just life. Reporting brings clarity and helps move us forward, as opposed to being stuck in that negative thinking of, I don't know, it falls into like I'm bad, and then everything's bad, and then the world is bad, and then I sit in it for too long, and then it affects everything around me. Report on what is happening in your life as often as you like, but try not to judge. Judgment limits, confines, brings condemnation down on others and ourselves. It says who you are, where you are, what you are doing is wrong. That leaves little room to move and even less space for acceptance. Serenity Prayer, acceptance, right? It diminishes the freedom to grow and evolve. Gosh, that is so true for me. I don't know how you guys feel, if you've experienced that around judgment. You know, when I'm like judging other people, it usually takes away my own kind of center. I'm no longer grounded because I'm looking at what everybody's doing that's not up to par with what I want them to be doing or what they should be doing. So I lose my like balance, you know. So really my judgment hurts me. Doesn't necessarily hurt others as much. Reporting without judgment doesn't mean we approve of what's going on or that we don't have feelings about the situation. Right? It's not like our feelings are invalid, even though they may not be based on facts. They're valid. Nor does it mean we have to tolerate whatever comes our way. But when we can report without judgment, we can accept. And acceptance sets us free. Acceptance is the place from which all growth and change occurs. Yeah, I guess this reading was kind of spot on. There's just so much truth in that. You know, we talk about like not being able to control outside factors, right? Not being able to control what goes on in the world or how our day-to-day may be limited by outside circumstances. And the same with this reading, it talks about report out, don't judge. But that doesn't mean we allow everything into our lives. We use our judgment, but we don't necessarily have to pass judgment. Just because we live in acceptance. If we try to live in acceptance, that's something I try to do, then I'm able to see things that maybe I don't want in my life. And I don't have to judge them as bad or wrong or this or that, and just accept that this is how they are, and also accept that I don't want them in my life. And that's where my control comes in, right? Surrounding ourselves by positive people, by positive energy, by those that follow a set of principles that are important to us and in our lives. Well, what do you know? So when there is truth and acceptance, without fear of judgment, there is love. Create your own world of love. So there it is. Right? Love is the answer to everything, right? If we just practice patience, tolerance, love, acceptance, if we're compassionate in our day-to-day, those are big words that produce monumental results. If we can just try to incorporate those principles into our daily life, I promise you will see change. You will see great improvement. Just rambling here. I don't know what you guys think about that. Those that are watching, if anything resonated with you, if you feel compelled to share something about judgment or anything you want to share, really. I'm excited to get your feedback. Yeah, I guess that's spot on. I like that was part of the call this morning, was about like, how is everyone dealing with COVID and recent events and kind of the turmoil. And it's living in acceptance, and just trying to, this was my answer to them. I don't know, take it or leave it, right? But it was just living in acceptance and trying to see how I can contribute to the solution, whatever that may mean, whatever that looks like, but not being part of the problem, right? And you guys don't usually, well, I don't know. I don't usually complain a whole lot. On here anyway. And it's not because like everything's great and life is perfect. It's more so about living in acceptance, and just trying my very best each day, right? And some days are not my best days, but so long as I give it my all, and so long as there's that perseverance, that you get up just one more time. Someone reached out to me today that's had some struggles and kind of coming back into recovery. And it was so cool to be able to connect with someone else. It was so cool to be able to, like, that's where I feel, I don't know, I get my fuel or my energy is like one person, like my heart connecting with someone else's, right? And so this positive exchange of energy. So being able to connect with her and, I don't know, maybe support her on her journey, there's been a lot of really weird coincidences lately. I don't believe in that per se. I think it's all energy. What we put out is what we get back. But here's where I start to rant because I'm not seeing any comments. And if I don't know if it's this app or what. It's not an app, this third party. But I'd love to hear from you guys because I'll just keep ranting. I go sideways. Yeah. Oh, Patrick, hi. I like the feedback your friend gave you. Sometimes things are just the way it is. It's acceptance, but I also get caught in judgment. It's easier to look at the faults of others than to look at myself. Isn't that the truth? And I too need to have friends, my sponsor, or trusted people to tell me the things I need to hear, not necessarily what I want to hear. Yeah, that's really, really accurate. Um, it's really, really accurate because there's been a couple of situations as of late where, I don't know, I guess I didn't hear what I thought I was going to hear, and I just had to accept it. That's what it is, right? Because I needed to hear certain truths about myself and about the situation, because that's how we grow, right? Not through judgment, but through honesty, through conversations, through connections. Looking at others gives me a sense of superiority. Yeah. I like how you said getting caught up in judgments because it's easier to look at others, because then it sort of ignores, it makes it easier to ignore um, ourselves, right? If I could, there's like a saying about pointing out when you point and fingers looking back. Um, Emma, I just love that. That's so funny. Definitely glad this was the first thing I saw in my news feed. Funny how things work. It sure is. It really is funny how things work. But it is when we're sitting in judgment, it takes our attention away from ourselves and our growth and our development, right? We're stuck in maybe negative thoughts. Or negative space. More than negative thoughts, it's negative space. And that's never a healthy place for us. So, yeah, I love that. I love what Patrick said. Emma, it's good to see you on here. You guys have been incredible tonight. Yeah, it was definitely, to those that joined later, I started off kind of grumpy and I didn't like the reflections. I have like a bunch of different books that I looked at, and none of them seemed right. And I finally stopped on one. And what do you know? It was exactly what I needed to hear and where I was in my mind today. Um, so thank you for opening up my eyes to some truths and some growth and some good conversation. Um, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. We have some really cool feeds coming up. And tomorrow we're going to be talking with a woman who's working on her CERPA F, which is Certified Recovery Peer Advocate family designation, and talking about how families impact the impact addiction has on families. We're also going to be having some great conversation. Tune in Saturday at noon. We have I'm going to be talking to this incredible woman. Her name is April, and I just adore her, April Acock, and we'll be talking about racial disparities in substance use treatment and recovery, because that is a conversation we need to have and we need to have more of. So Saturday at noon, mark your calendar. I'll blast it out. It'll be a really important, I'm going to say a great talk, but it will be a great talk and a really important listen. Less self-reflection, therefore less working on myself. Yeah, man. That's just it. You summed it up, Patrick. All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. You've been wonderful. I hope you have a great night. And that's all I got. See you soon. Bye.